I'm talking about the greatest. Hold up, never with that fakeish. Roll up, realest of the real when he was young. Muhammad Ali was still the same when he growed up. Louisville strong, well, we all knew he the chosen one. He knocked out List and he shocked the world and left it frozen, huh? Exposing the hatred America had for us. Ain't no justice, it was just us. Nights inside the Nifado, rumble in the jungle. The thriller Manila left you humble. After Ali beat Foreman, he made a phone call to a DC brother named Harold Belly. Didn't call ABC, NBC. He didn't call Ed Bradley, didn't call Howard Cosell. He floated like a butterfly, stung like a beetle. Ali made me proud to be me. He called Harold Bell in DC. Ali, a global cultural icon. His rope a dope like a time bomb. Rumble, young man, rumble. Beautiful young man, try fun. Rumble, young man, rumble. Beautiful young man, never tumble. Muhammad Ali, Harold Bell, just got here on Kendrick Lamar. Now we're talking about Harold Bell, Harold Bell, just got here on. Now we're talking about Harold Bell, Harold Bell, just got here on. Now we're talking about Harold Bell, Harold Bell. Now we're talking about Harold Bell, real godfather of sports talk, a man that talk and walk that walk. A media community pioneer, shared the same radio mic as Peter Green over the air. His voice came through loud and clear when the streets of the original Chocolate City were mean. They did not have to scream, unlike today's radio host, the first black American to host and produce.
All right. Hi, I'm Harold Bell, and this is the original Inside Sports, coming to you from the Inside Sports Legacy Network, my new podcast. First of all, let me introduce my co-host and executive producer. I want to apologize. Last week, I didn't introduce him at all. I'm so used to doing stuff by myself for 50 years. I forgot that I had a co-host, and I just went right on by him. But I want everyone to meet this young man. He is one of the young, talented individuals doing these podcasts, still doing radio. He founded the Everything DMV Radio. Everything DMV Radio. He founded that. And he's a native Washingtonian. He grew up here in the area and has been doing some great things out in the community with young people. I met him about 2 months ago at the Miracle Theater, where we were working on a thing called The Waiting Game, the story of how the NBA treated the ABA. The ABA was really, the NBA is the ABA today, and this how those folks, the Power Boys at the NBA, left the ABA guys out to dry after they selected the 4 teams they needed and didn't give those young men the pensions that they was promised. And I met my co-host, Shannon Roundtree, at that particular event at the Miracle Theater on Capitol Hill. So welcome to the original Inside Sports with my co-host, executive producer, Shannon Roundtree. Big Doc, how you doing, my brother?
What's going on, boss man? How you doing today?
I'm hanging in there, man. We got a great lineup of some people that are my heroes, some folks that I've known for years, and they're like family. And so I want to start off by introducing my special guest. She grew up in what we call the great playground of the world, Hawaii. She became a track star the hard way. She had to practice on dirt fields and grass fields. And when she went to the mainland to participate other young athletes, it was very difficult, but she fought her way through that. She participated in the 1964 and 1972 Olympic Games in the 80-meter hurdles. After the 1972 Games, she competed with the International Track Association, then coached at the University of Florida. Later, she returned to diplomacy working for the United States Department, supporting the U.S. embassies. And she got that appointment, I'm quite sure, through the President of the United States, the brother out of Georgia, Rosalind and Jimmy Carter. They invited her to the White House, and she went all over the world representing the United States. She joined the Peace Corps and lived in Gambia, and she lived in Washington. I don't even want to say how long, but she's been here a while. She's taught schools. She's worked in the DC Recreation Department, and she's been a loyal supporter of kids in trouble and keeping me out of trouble. I would like to welcome my dear friend, Lacey O'Neal. How you doing, Lacey?
Fantastic. I'm just happy to be a part of this epic podcast. I've been hearing a lot about it, and shout out to Shannon. Congratulations. I always want to see young people come in and do their thing, and
thank you,
and to acknowledge the pioneers. Some of the younger people think that they started it, but they don't even know their history. So this is a good time for us to expose young people. I invited some of them to come on this podcast so they can hear some, how they got to where they got.
Right. Introduce. Of course, one of my favorite people. She's really a little younger. She was like a little sister coming up. My brother hung out with her brothers, and we were like family in that housing project called Parkside. And I want you to introduce her. I don't have to say her name, but maybe you go and tell us about it.
Right. I can. What can I say about this young lady? I met her in 1968, but actually before that. But at any rate, this young lady, as you pointed out, is a native Washingtonian. She has so many accolades, but the one that I think is appropriate today is that she was the young and still is the youngest at 14 years of age to make the 1968 Olympic team in track and field. You have to be 14. You can't be 13. And she was 14 years old when she made that team in one of the most grueling sport events, which is the 400 meters. This young lady has gone on and won many other track meets, but I would say that I'm so proud of her because she has always worked in the community. She was also, when Title IX came around, she was the first female athlete to get a scholarship at the Howard University. So she has so many firsts that she's done, and she could probably tell you some more. But I've tried to stay in contact with her and her family since first really meeting her. But again, I'm just so proud of her. Esther Stroy Harper. She's married to a wonderful, wonderful, I call him my comedian. He always has a joke for me. But Esther Stroy.
Esther Stroy, come on, baby. Come on, baby girl. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. And at the last minute, Lacey brought you in, and I'm glad that you're here. Esther, tell us about a little about your career and exactly what it took for you to come out of Parkside. Of course, a housing project where we had some great athletes and we were like family. We looked out for each other back in the day. And that's unheard of today, And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome my little sister, Esther Stroy. Go ahead, Esther.
Okay. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Shannon will bring her in. Shannon. In the meantime, while we're trying to bring Esther in, let me introduce my other two guests who have joined us. And this one guy, we go back 30 years. He was running back in the NFL for 11 years. He spent 2 years here in Washington, D.C. with the Washington Redskins. And We joined the team. I don't know how we became a team, but we did. And he he was involved in most of my community projects, the Christmas toy parties. We did a big choir thing with I can't think of that little guy's name now, but his choir down at the church on New York Avenue, and Pastor Silver. I remember that. Marc came out, and they came out and put on a great show. I can't think of a little guy that's so popular now. He don't do no singing, he do talking. But anyway, Marc was there for that, and we had a great time. And like Marc has always been there. 30 years later, we're still trying to pull some things together. And Marc's been 11 years in the NFL, 2 Super Bowls. He got 2 Super Bowl rings, and one of really outstanding young back. We don't need to run video. We're going to run video on him every time, showing some of his great moves. But I would like to welcome my dear friend, Mr. Marc Logan. How you doing, Marc?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Mr. Bill?
I'm fine, sir. I'm fine. Good, glad to have you with us. Introduce our other guest, man, because, man, this guy, woo, he was a highlight reel. He was a highlight reel in the NFL.
No doubt.
All the time. Introduce him, Marc.
So we have on the great Billy White Shoes Johnson. He's probably one of the reasons I played football was watching him do his dance in the end zone when he scores a touchdown. But he's a better person than he is a player, and you know how great he was as a player. So he's a great person. Yeah. Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Yeah, Shannon, do we have the video of Billy White Shoes? Shannon, do we have that video of Billy White Shoes?
We do have it. I didn't pull it for this episode, but we have played it before. But I'll try to locate that while
Okay, but Billy, come on in, man, and introduce yourself, man. I've been a big fan for a long time, man. You are Mr. Entertainment that created all this dancing in the end zone and doing all the great things. And man, I thank Marc for introducing me to you, man. And you are more than just a great football player. You are a great human being, man. And I welcome you for being a part of my roundtable here on Inside Sports. Hey, Billy, come on in. Can we get Esther or Billy?
Hey, Marc, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Billy.
It sounded like Donald Duck on my end.
Okay. Start talking, man. Tell us what you're doing now, and of course about your great history. How did you, begin all of that, and at what age did you realize that you were the athlete, turned out to be the athlete that you did, and became a major star in the NFL?
Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Can you hear me, Billy? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Billy.
he just dropped out. I'm not sure how their connection is on there. And
He said it was raining down there, so
yeah.
So what about Esther? Where's Esther? Is Esther?
She dropped out as well. It seems like both of them were in their car. So
okay.
I attempted to add them both back, but they keep falling out.
Yeah, when you can bring them back in, we'll go. Let's move on with the show, and whatever they come back, they can join us. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, man, was the Winter Olympic Games. You know, that's been in the news and still in the news. And one of the most courageous things that I saw, man, like I said, it's hard to find us in the Winter Olympic Games. But this young lady, Lindsey Vonn, man, she is, man, you talk about courage and fighting back. She had a terrific crash coming down the slopes and hit the wall, tore Achilles tendon, and went into the hospital and was back out in 9 days to compete. And buddy, did she compete? She went back down the slope and ran right back into the wall. I said, it wasn't funny. I said, man, this is a woman that I would want on my team because there's no quit in Lindsey Vonn, man. So I just want to pay tribute to her today and get, some feedback on how you guys, I know you are well aware of the outstanding career that she's had. And at age, I think she's 41, to attempt to come back. Lacey, why don't you, because you are more in contact with the type of things that she would have to go through to prepare for the Olympic Games.
Well, I've always said that athletes have a different kind of brain. They have a different kind of physical and mental, I guess, body and mind than most people. Because we train so hard and our minds are always focused on winning. We never talk about losing. We always talk about winning. And we work through pain. Some of us have really high pain tolerance. She's probably one of those people. And when you think about all the time you put in, you just don't walk away from it. You're almost like a daredevil. And sometimes we ignore the pain. We ignore, all we think about is focusing on the win. And I can imagine so many athletes that I know, and I've been in contact with football players, basketball players, etc. We don't really understand, I think, until we're laying on a sick bed that we're really sick, or that, something is really wrong with our bodies, because we just fight through it. We understand pain. We can tolerate it. I think that's probably her feelings,
Marc, you like to piggyback on that, Margie? Marc?
Yeah, she's spot on. I mean, athletes, like you said, are just different creatures. We recognize the pain, and we have a way of just fighting through it. We're just built different. We really are. I can remember, playing the game of football. I'm not saying that there's more pain in that sport than any other pain, but there's times I've played with broke ribs. Probably had my best game with broke ribs. Let you know that we can actually, get past that pain and reach the goal that we're trying to reach. But she's definitely right.
Okay, I see Esther out there. Can we get Esther? Can we get Esther and Shannon? I saw her out there peeking in.
She has a story she can tell you.
Yeah, she's on the screen, but
yeah, she comes in and out. I think by her being outside, it may have a lot to do with it.
What about Billy White Shoes Johnson? Billy, are you out there? Can you hear?
Billy's not here either.
Okay.
I see Esther's there, but she just can't come in for some reason.
Can Esther, are you talking? Yeah, I'm not sure. Their connections are just
okay.
Not
let's keep moving. You keep working on it. We'll get them in here. I want to talk about more.
I am here.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Esther.
Oh boy, she was there, and then now she's gone.
Yeah, I just think it's their connections, where they're at, how many bars they might have on their phone, or I'm not sure. Everyone else seems to be holding up. Who's at a LAN?
Yeah. Now you see me. Now you don't. We got one of those things going. There she is again. Can you hear us, Esther? Can you hear us? I don't think she can hear us. Yeah. But anyway, let's keep it moving. And another courageous person, man, that I've always thought of, and who all of us love, was Muhammad Ali. When he carried that torch in Atlanta, man, you talk about carrying with that torch, man. I think it's something that still I get emotional about today when I think about that and the courage that it took for him to do that. So I would like for y'all to chip in on that. Shannon, you can come in too as we talk about what it takes courage in some professional sports and amateur sports to compete. And Muhammad Ali competed at the highest level as a pro athlete, and for him to be an inspiration to us in Atlanta. What year was that, Marc, in Atlanta when the Olympic Games were there?
Woo, that was
Was it 76?
Lacey?
76, wasn't it?
76.
Okay.
Either that or 84, one of them. I'm not
Okay.
really sure.
I should know. I forgot. I've forgotten. I
I
do.
forgot too.
Yeah.
We can look it up right quick.
That's true.
Yeah. Somebody
Olympic Games
look it
in
up.
Atlanta.
But also
About 1996 Olympics.
Oh, it says 96.
96.
96.
96. Wow. Marc, you were with the Redskins then.
Yeah, I was.
30 years ago.
Wow.
Man, that's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long.
Shannon, do we have any other guests lurking in the background there?
Yeah, we do. We don't have your guy. What is it?
Okay.
Jose. Yeah, we don't have him.
Okay. Well, let us run the video of our special guest that we got that's coming on with us next. Can you run that video of her?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's do it.
And we have this young lady.
The Olympic Games in Paris kick off in 136 days. Roane County native Sharifa Barksdale will be there on the sidelines of the track and field competitions. We first met that 1982 Olympian at the Summer Games in Rio de Janeiro 8 years ago, but recently Robin Wilhoit caught up with her on her hometown track in Harriman, and that is where she is laying the foundation for future Olympians.
I'm determined. I'm not going to let anyone tell me that this is impossible.
Yeah. Sharifa Barksdale says she doesn't know the word no. It's just not in her vocabulary.
You know, when you have dreams and they become reality, then you feel like that you have done something.
The Harriman native is channeling her determination to bring the worn and crumbled track that bears her name back to life. Early on, she recognized the transformative power of the asphalt oval.
It changed my life because I wanted something bigger and better.
Growing up in the small town, Barksdale was a standout at school, on the sidelines as a cheerleader, and on the hardwood.
My family was my foundation. My mother, my father, my sister, all of us, we are overachievers.
But the track at Harriman High is where her destiny took off. She sprinted to 12-time All-American status at the University of Tennessee and eventually earned a spot on Team USA. The next leg of her journey, the 400-meter hurdles at the Los Angeles Olympic Games 40 years ago.
And although I didn't win a medal, but making that Olympic team was my medal. Coming in 9th place and being the ranked 9th in the whole entire world, that's an accomplishment within itself. And being an Olympian for the United States is the hardest team to make ever, even to this day. I would run right now, but I can't run right now.
These days, Sharifa cheers on up-and-coming world-class athletes. As a manager with USA Track and Field, she supports them along the path to their ultimate destination, the Olympics.
Because the energy that I give off, I want that same energy back, and I know I'm going to get it back.
Now she's giving back to the people of Harriman by way of a new and improved track to inspire the next generation of athletes.
Because I would look at that little girl or that little boy as looking at Sharifa, what would I tell Sharifa? And that is, I am somebody. I will let nothing stand in my way because I can do it.
That can-do attitude kicked in once again 2 years ago when Sharifa and community leaders started fundraising for the track. They hosted galas and a concert, but when the dollars still came up short, Sharifa was not deterred.
I'm more successful when my back is up against the wall because I know how to work under pressure. I know what it takes to work under pressure, so I started making phone calls. I started sending letters.
Sharifa secured 2 anonymous gifts that pushed them over the finish line. Work on the track is now set to begin in March.
It's nothing but God. God gave me a mouthpiece to sit in front of them and deliver the passion that I have for this community, for this school, for Harriman, Tennessee, for Roane County, to make sure this track is built.
And this Olympian is certain. The track, with her name cemented in Harriman's history, will lay the foundation for the future.
Is there another Olympian to come out of Harriman?
Oh, most definitely. It may be 2 or 3. But I do believe if I'm dead and gone, I believe that building this track, putting this track out here, there will be another Olympian that comes out of small town Harriman, Tennessee.
We don't doubt it. Sharifa will travel with Team USA to the Olympic Games this summer in Paris, but she will be back in East Tennessee when that track is set to be dedicated in September.
All right, I'd like to welcome Sharifa Barksdale.
Oh, that's my baby. What a surprise, Harold.
I know you're surprised.
Where is she? Oh, my goodness.
Where is Sharifa? We have not lost her, too.
There she is.
Hey!
Oh, my goodness.
Sharifa, tell us about your journey and your journey with your dear mentor here, Lacey O'Neal.
And she knows Esther too.
Can we?
Oh my God! And she's way in Indianapolis or Tennessee.
Loud and clear, so she's dropped again too.
Oh gosh!
Wow.
She has a lot to say too.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. No doubt about that.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, baby. Bring us up to date whenever you come in. Esther's still out there. Yeah.
Wow.
It keeps going out, and I'm in.
Yeah. She's out in LA, California.
She's in LA. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Well, let's keep it moving until we can get Esther or Sharifa back in here to talk about, bring us up to date on exactly what they're doing. Billy White Shoes Johnson. We got 3 superstars out there waiting to come in. And
can you see me now? For some reason, it keeps going out.
Okay, baby, try it. Come on.
Okay, I'm hopefully it won't go out.
Go ahead, babe. Tell us about your journey. Tell us about your journey. Yeah. Keep going in and out. Well, I was hoping also I wanted to talk about the 1968 Olympic boycott. And one of those things I didn't realize that Jackie Robinson played such a role in supporting. There she is. All right, baby, try it again. Try it.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you and Marc and everyone for inviting me on this platform.
Well, what can we say? I was getting ready to talk about the role that Jackie Robinson played in the 1968 Olympic boycott, how he got behind, of course, John Carlos, Tommy Smith, and Peter Norman, who was from Australia, on that same podium. But Jackie had written letters, man, supporting them. And I thought that was a fantastic thing. Jackie Robinson and Paul Robeson have always been my heroes. And when I did some research in talking to John Carlos, man, I didn't realize how involved that he was in the boycott, and encouraging and inspiring everybody, man, to support John and Tommy and Peter, man. Jackie Robinson was just a man. He was just one of a kind, man. You know, Ryan reminds me so much of that mental attitude of Muhammad Ali. He couldn't be brought. He could not be brought. You know, he was his own man. He did his things his way. So I wanted to talk about, let everybody know, Jackie may be gone, but man, he's still with us in spirit. You know, I mean, he broke down the doors and made baseball.
Deal with Reverend Jackson as a force when he got those votes.
Who was that? That sounded like John Carlos.
Last in 2000, when you went to 2004 Chicago, it was Mignon. It was.
Now we got Sharifa coming in.
Okay, I'm up here in LA, so my daughter just put it on her laptop because I didn't bring my laptop because I'm on vacation. But
okay, all right. Go ahead, babe. You got it. You got the floor.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for inviting me on this platform. And Lacey and I, we've been friends for, oh my gosh, she's been like a big mother to me and everything. And Marc, I trained his son. Marc and I, we go back, but wow. I am an Olympian, and I started out in high school. And the librarian told me, she said, I went and asked her, could she give me a book on Wilma Rudolph? And so she said, silly girl, why do you want a book on Wilma Rudolph? I said, because one day I'm going to be an Olympian. So she didn't help me with the book. So it took me about maybe 30 to 45 minutes to find the book on Wilma Rudolph. And so I did. And so to speed it forward, Ralph Boston saw me playing basketball, because actually I had a basketball scholarship to Old Dominion, a 5'4" that can actually touch the net back then. And so Ralph saw something in me, and he spoke to my late mother who passed away, and we just had her funeral. Told her, she was 98 years old, but he said, Miss Barksdale, I see something in her. Can you get her to Knoxville? So my mother sacrificed and got me to Knoxville, and it was because of the late Ralph Boston that I am who I am today, an Olympian, because he told me that no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you be the best that you can be, and you never let anything stop you from reaching your goals.
Wow. Fantastic. Lacey, you want to pick it up, or you and Marc?
Well, that sounds like Ralph, and
yes,
he loves Sharifa. You know, I call her Cher. He loved her, and he spoke highly of her, even up until his death. Both Cher and I were on the phone, you know, encouraging him, and it was really a sad event that he passed. But he was the type of person that if he saw something in you, he would male or female, and if they listened to him, and he could tell you exactly before we had to get, you know, they're what you call innate coaches,
yes,
not the ones that you have to go through all these tests to become. He was a coach within his own right. Just like Cher is, when she sees somebody, you know, she knows that person has the ability to become an Olympian, because, you know, we can feel it. Just like Marc, if you see somebody playing football, you say, "Oh, they got the move, they got this," and so there's sort of an innate coaching that we have that other people don't have. But Cher has done a lot for Olympians, the current ones as well as the ones that have, you know, we call ourselves alumni. And so she has leads us with a program to help and give back to the young people. And what you saw, the film that you saw earlier, these kids are just having fun, and we can see right away, oh, there's a possibility right there. And it's too bad that we can't bring them all together and keep them for ourselves. Uh, but we do tell their leaders, we do tell their teachers. She brought me into this program called Run Jump, and she's led that all around the United States. And so anybody that's listening, you could probably get in contact with Cher if you want to have that event at your schools. So, I mean, I could say a whole much more about her, but she's really the Olympic spirit. She doesn't forget the older people, like some of our younger ones. They don't even know our names, but she keeps us in the focus. So thank you for that share.
Marc?
You're welcome. You're welcome. But Mr. Bell, I've heard so much about you, Lacey. In fact, Lacey, we were driving. We were in Orlando, and Lacey was telling me about you. And it's just amazing how Marc called me and how things just turned full circle. Because again, when you called me, I was like, I wasn't going to answer the phone because I was busy, but something told me to answer the phone, and tears came in my eyes just knowing that you were on the other end talking to me.
Wow. Oh, girl, you ought to stop it. Like I told you ought to stop it.
God is playing his part in all of this, bringing us together.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Her, I paid her to say that, man.
You paid her to say that.
I'm gonna collect later.
And the thing about Harold, we could be hidden figures, but Harold won't let it die. Right. He brings us, us out of the cobwebs where they have thrown us away. He brings us back in, which we appreciate so much, Harold.
But
and Shannon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. But you have people that no matter what you try to do, you have people that will try to dim your light.
Right.
And people that's out there that's trying to dim your light, I say, take off those sunglasses, take off those glasses, because my light is going to shine. And so as older people, and I consider myself old because I'm 65 now, but you have to continue to let your light shine, not only on yourself, but on others. But it's those who's willing to accept what you're willing to give. And those that not willing to accept what you're willing to offer and give, you have to let them go on. Because at the end of the day, we know what it takes to be successful because we've been there and we've done that. And again, it goes back to the younger people. Back then, we didn't have Google. We didn't have all this stuff where you can look up people. You can look up people now and see what they've done and pay homage to them and acknowledge who they are, what they are, and whom they are.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's how she preaches. She preaches that on a daily basis.
Yes, I do.
I agree to that. Sharifa has always been Sharifa. As long as I've known her, we just connected immediately, and she's just been a great person. She knows how to recognize talent. I've known that for where she don't waste her time. No. She sees that person. Athletes, the ones that that are going to be good, they got a motor. That motor just keeps moving constantly, and she recognizes that instantly, and she's really has a gift of just recognizing talent. She does a whole lot in the community. She works with kids in so many different ways, abused kids, and so where her heart is too, to even to fool with that. And but Sharifa's just a fantastic person. When we talked about Miss Lacey O'Neal, the first person that I thought of to be on this show was Sharifa. I said, man, we got to get Sharifa on. And when I spoke to her, she told me she knew Lacey, and I was like, wow, this is going to be a great show. So
yes. Yeah. And when I tell you Lacey is a force to reckon with, the sweetest giving heart that you could ever meet. And Lacey, you look just so wonderful. I'm talking about you just so beautiful inside and out. And you don't
81 years old, black don't cry.
I know.
Don't cry.
Lacey looks like she's 50 years old.
Wow.
And where is Esther? My goodness, she's missing all of
Man,
this.
that's Esther and Billy White Shoes. We're missing two great
You just have to have her on again.
Yeah.
yeah.
And hopefully they could be at a computer next time. It looks like it works best that way.
Yes, because the cell phone doesn't work, because I try to do the cell phone, and what it does, it connects you, and then it just keeps continuously disconnecting you.
Yeah.
Well, he was the how can I say it? He was Mr. Electric back then. You know, he was the one that did all the dancing before all the stuff that you see now.
He had that boogie in him. He had that boogie in him.
No,
I remember him.
He was the first to ever do it. You know, he's one that made sports, as far as football was, really exciting. They couldn't wait for him to score because they knew he was going to do his football dance.
Yeah, that was a great highlight film. I would love for us to see that, Shannon, if you're able to bring that up, because it's one thing that one of the narrators said in the film. He said, Billy White Shoes Johnson starts out to the left. Don't move. He'll be coming back that way.
That's right.
I thought that was so great, man. Yeah, man.
And you know, he's considered a hidden figure because they don't even bring that up. You know.
I know it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, you know, he did it, but so what? You know, and that's not. He did it.
No, we can't let that go. This brother belongs.
Yeah.
I was so proud. I was telling Billy, I was so proud when they did the SBN Awards and they did the 4 Hall of Famers come out. And one of those young men was Larry Fitzgerald. I knew him when he was about 8 years old.
Right.
I used to call his father in Minnesota and have him on my Monday morning show. And Larry was like in elementary school, and he would pick up the phone. I said, Larry, where's your daddy? He'll holler, hey, Daddy, it's Harold Bell in Washington, D.C. And then to see that kid walk out on that as the first ballot Hall of Famer, man, you know, he did things to me. And I'm saying, man, I love Larry, but how can he be walking out there before Billy White Shoes Johnson?
Billy definitely.
You know, we got to do something about that, man. That don't make no sense.
But
for Billy White Shoes Johnson to be on the outside looking in.
Yeah,
I think I got the video right here.
Okay, fantastic.
People continue. What people forget that there was people before us who paved the way.
Yes.
And you can't forget those who paved the way, because if it was not for them, it would not be us.
That's right.
All right. Thank you.
That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You remember Billy White Shoes Johnson? Fast as a hiccup and smoother than a Sunday drive down a 2-lane road. He was jukebox before Madden even had a spin. And those end zone dances? Man, he made scoring look like a family reunion cookout. Punt return, touchdown. Return, touchdown. He made special teams special. Like stop when he's about to run one back. Was not the biggest guy, but he played like someone told him the field was on fire. And that nickname? He earned it. White shoes, fast feet, and more moves than a disco floor in '76. Classic. You remember Billy White Shoes Johnson?
Oh, right.
Wow.
That's wonderful. Oh, my goodness.
Billy and I used to do a bunch of camps together, and he would still have on those white shoes. I used to try to get some shoes from him. Always white. He always...
Okay. Well, while we on football, let's talk about the recent Super Bowl and Bad Bunny. I mean, this is the first time that in a long time that I really wasn't paying any attention to the Super Bowl. You know, the two teams didn't excite me, and of course I heard about Bad Bunny, but I listened to him. I couldn't understand what he was saying at halftime, but I knew it was a great show what he was doing for his people, and that was great. But the Super Bowl didn't turn me on as it usually does. You know, you get ready, man. You get your meal ready. You sit down to watch it. What about you guys? How did you feel about this year's Super Bowl?
Well, you know, I think the National Football League is trying to go global, like other sports. You know, soccer's global. You know, they doing everything to be global. Like in the Olympics, they're bringing flag football in. I was even asked to coach over in China because they don't know football. They was asking me to coach, to show them things. We have our own interpreter, our own transportation. We're going to be there for 6 months. So they're trying to bring the game to be global. And what he did was to me was global for his people, for his country. I think that's the message that the NFL is trying to pursue right now.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
As you know, everything is political.
Yes.
And Jay-Z is the one that is behind all of the entertainment, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so, you know, I enjoyed it. I always enjoyed. That's on my bucket list to actually go to a Super Bowl. My brother had the opportunity to go when the Redskins went to L.A. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Don't be mad with me.
Oh no!
But ever since
No,
I
you
know.
good.
Ever since, I'll tell you how. I'm from Chicago originally, and I love the Bears. But when Bob Hayes became a Dallas Cowboy fan, that's when I became a player. I became a Dallas Cowboy fan, and I haven't left it yet because for my opinion, he is actually Mr. Football because he opened up a whole new game,
Mm-hmm.
and ever since that game has been getting bigger and bigger, and so I love football, and so to me, I enjoyed it. I had all the food, had the company, and we were in it. You know, none of our teams were in the game, but we enjoyed it. We were calling the plays, and we were, we made it exciting.
Right.
So I look forward to it all the time. So
One of the things we got to remember too, when Marc and all of us talking about it going global, it's about $1 bill, man.
Oh
it's
yeah,
about $1 bill. It's about
yes.
$1 bill at
Without
any
a doubt.
cost. At any cost.
Yeah,
Mhm.
at any cost. And we mentioned how it's incredible that Billy White Shoes Johnson is not in the Hall of Fame, but you got to look at who's voting on the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
They got reporters doing all the voting. Someone who's never played the game. It took the receiver from the 49ers, I can't think of his name right now, forever to get in the Hall of Fame. He didn't even show up. He had it at his high school. But because
Terrell Owens. Yeah, Terrell Owens. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you think of ask the person that he's playing against how good he is. I guess
That's
have a different story. You know what I'm saying? You have a different story, but reporters, come on now. They haven't played the game. All they do is report the game.
Mhm.
They don't like you, then it's become a charity contest as far as who gets in. And that's not right at all.
That's right.
Well, it took a long time for Bob Hayes to even get in there. We lobbied his sister, Lucille Hester. We cornered Matt Madden when they came here for what's his name, Gene Upshaw's funeral,
Mm-hmm.
and we cornered him, and we said, I introduced Lucille like I knew. You have to be bold, like you said, Cher. I got right in his face and I said, "This is Lucille Hester. This is Bob." I just said, one big sentence. This is Bob Hayes' sister, and we want him in the Hall of Fame. What can you do to help us? He was just like, wow, like you that
Straight
bold,
to it.
you that bold. Next we knew, he was in it. And
You got to take risks, man. That's one of the things that I don't understand. My whole foundation has been gospel AM radio. You understand? But when Willie Wood came to me and said, Harold, they blackballing me out of the Hall of Fame, man. What can you do to help me? Well, you know, and Willie Wood was everything in the NFL. He's one of the greatest safeties to ever play the game. Vince Lombardi said, that's my coach on the field, Willie Wood. And of course, they blackballed him because he went to San Diego and there were athletes in the locker room using drugs. And he didn't come out of that kind of environment. And he stood up and said, no, y'all cannot do that on my watch. And when he stood up, they blackballed him. You know, they would kick him out the Hall of Fame. He had to go to Canada to get a coaching job. He became the first black head coach for the World Football League. And Willie and I, he's always been my hero. I've known him for years. And I said, man, come on, we got to do something. And I got with my buddy Dick Heller at the Washington Times. I told Dick, he said, let's do it. And what happened, man, we did a platform. And we got Willie into the Hall of Fame in 1989. And you know what? You know one thing about Willie? He came back, man, and thanked us. He came back and thanked Dick Heller and myself. And I had Willie present with Dick Heller, Kids in Trouble Man of the Year Award. And then who comes next? Earl Lord. He comes to me. He's the first black to play in the NBA. He played on the NBA championship, became the first assistant black coach when he should have become the coach. But the people at the Detroit Pistons named a white boy player coach, Dave DeBusschere, instead of making him, he could have become the first black head coach, but they didn't want to put him in that position.
Right.
So guess what? I got with my man Red Auerbach, he was my man. I got with Congressman John Lewis, and they joined the team, Kids in Trouble, and we campaigned and got Earl Lord inducted in 2003.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow.
And I'm saying, if I can do that on AM radio, where's James Brown? Where's Michael Wilbon? Why is Maury Will still out of baseball's Hall of Fame when he revolutionized the game with base stealing? He's not in the Hall of Fame because he dated a white woman? Come on, man.
Wow.
Why is Johnny Sample? Why is Johnny Sample not in the Hall of Fame? Playing on two different world championship teams, the Baltimore Colts and the New York Jets, where he was the co-captain. But they won't let him in the Hall of Fame. So that's on us. Like you said, Marc, these guys out there today, Stephen A. Smith, Michael Wilbon, James Brown, Kevin Blackstone, they all came through me. And they ain't never played nothing.
They never played.
But what and I totally agree with you, but and what society has done is like modern day slavery.
Yeah.
If you're not dancing for them, and then they continue to have those shackles on your feet and your hands. And if you don't have people to advocate for you, and it's a shame that you have to have people to go out there and advocate for you, and they don't see your worth and what you put in, and that you should be inducted into the Hall of Fame, or you should be this, that, and the other. They continue to want to put shackles and handcuff you and make on like that you don't exist when you do, because you paved the way for the ones that's making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it's all a racket game. And what they try to do is pimp the ones that they can pimp and put you out there on face and have you to say and do exactly what you're going to do. If you don't know yourself and if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. I stand on principle. So no one can flash this kind of money in front of me and say, Sharifa, you go out there and you do this. No can do I, because I stand on principle and what I am and how I was raised on honesty, integrity, and dignity.
That's right.
Absolutely. And that's what Harold Bell has done, created his own Hall of Fame to still give those spotlights to those people. And we got another guy named Maurice who is actually up out of New York, and he has put together Black Zone, which he amplifies our voices through digital products like TV, magazines, social apps. Matter of fact, this is him right here.
Thank you.
They want to erase us. If there was ever a time to elevate our voices, share our stories, build our communities, embrace our creativity and ingenuity, as well as create safe spaces controlled and owned by us. It's now. Welcome to the Black Zone. Black Zone Social. Black Zone Television. Black Zone Magazine. For you. For me. For us.
Outstanding is that it's free subscription. You know, it's free, man. And this is a brother that's doing this in New York. He reminds me of Ebony magazine. You know, that's how classy this thing is. You go up there and look at Black Zone magazine and go through the pages. It is first class. I mean, everything is first class. So that's the kind of thing that we need to. You know, we got to start having our own network. Everybody got a network, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They buy us out. They brought Ebony out. They brought BET out.
Yeah.
Every time we get a foothold, they buy us out, and we fall for it.
Well,
we fall for it.
You think they buy us out? They push us out. Let me tell you, it's a difference.
Well, the dollar bill.
Well, that's what you see, but it's not always that. It's a lot of threats behind that, because you know, we don't own anything. So where do we get our ink from? Where do we get our everything from? You know, when you talk about magazines, where do we get the paper from? You see, it's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and we think you left because of the money. Not all the time. Mafias push people out too.
Yeah, but one thing today with social media, man, there's so many things that you can open up to get the word out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they did us a favor.
Wide open. And a lot of us have not taken advantage of social media, including myself. You know, I just started the podcast. Every radio and television sports talk show you see or hear anywhere copied the Inside Sports format, which is now sports talk is $1 billion industry. Because of Inside Sports and Harold Bell. But they just come in and take the best of us, what we got, and go on and create their own empires, and we fall for it and won't come together to help each other, man, because we're scared we're going to lose that little position or that dollar bill.
Yeah. They know how
That's absolutely the truth.
They definitely know how powerful social media is, and having your own platform, just like what you have, Harold, of getting information out there, then we can paint our own narrative. But if we don't have this, they can paint the narrative of us. And that's what they do. You know, they control the media, the news, everything, and they show what they want the people to see.
Yes.
None of it is true. But they paint in their narrative of Black people, of people in general that they want to do. So they buy us out, like you said, or they move us out or push us out in some kind of way. So what you're doing is you standing on business, Harold. I mean, you really are.
Yes.
And the thing about Harold is that he never gives up. I have to give him credit. He never gives up. I mean, he started and he said, I ain't giving up until I'm in the grave. I'm going because radio, TV, and where were we? Where were we sometimes? In Ben's Chili Bowl. I mean, we were everywhere. We don't care. You're gonna hear
in
me.
the field, on the field, outside the field, everywhere.
Yeah. And we just have to keep encouraging this. Harold, you are there for a reason. I know the money is not coming your way, but the lives that you have touched, you don't know what the end is going to show. So just hang in there. Just keep hanging in there. And like I told you,
for me to give up now. 80, I'll be 88 in May 21st. I'll be 88. So God is
great. Black don't crack.
I'm being paid off.
You still walking, you still talking, and you still got your mind. So
that's a blessing.
You're here for
but you know,
Go ahead.
But you know what? We just did a podcast, and I interviewed what's his name? Hollis Conway. And the last question that I asked him, and people should really ask themselves that question, no matter with track and field, and you all can contest to the sports that you're in. Getting a medal, yeah, that's something. But leaving a legacy is something else. I can win all the medals, all the accolades, but whose lives have I touched? How did I pave the way for the next person? So to have all the accolades, and just like you, Harold, you grinded, Lacey, you grinded, Marc, you grinded. Everybody has got their grind on. And when you die, what will people say about you? What legacy have you left? How many lives have you touched? That's what I'm looking at. I don't care about accolades. I don't care about the medal. But what did Sharifa to touch lives?
And here's another thing too, with the piggybacking on that. I always say, if it's not your ball, it's not your ball game. What does that mean? Right. That means you need to have your own, you know. And
God bless the child that has his own.
Yes, you know, and that's what it says. God bless the child that has his own. And when I say his own, I'm talking about collectively, community. We need to have our own. We've had it before, and we know that they buried it. They put it underwater.
Look at Rosewood. Look at Rosewood. And burnt it down.
Yeah, look at Langston's, all these towns. Look at what do you call it? Central Park. That was our time. We're learning all of this. We didn't know, you know, we didn't know. And now we know that we did it once. We can do it again. You know?
Absolutely. And that's what we've been known for. You know, we keep creating, we keep coming out of different struggles and advancing and contributing to our world. You know, we keep doing it. And you know, a lot of times, you know, the kids, they do bad things. But even if you look back in history, you know, that has been a process that has been repeated. So, but if we could find the good in how they're bringing, you know, people together and then using that momentum to push it into positive activities and positive things, I think that we can really, really, really go somewhere and not just look at it as a bad thing, but look at it as a group thing, community thing, and continue to build on it with what communities they're still building in this same day and age.
Well, guys, it's about time. Marc, you want to say something? It's about time for us.
I just want to piggyback on what Mr. Roundtree said. You know, when you think of community and like what Sharifa said, you talk about Wall Street, Black Wall Street, and, you know, then you think of, you know, I just learned that the Gap Band, you know, who was very popular at one point, and they named their band off of what happened at Black Wall Street. The names of the streets were, I know the A is Archer, Pine is one of them. I forgot what the G stands for, but the Gap Band named their band after those three streets that were all burned up. Because in history, that was the first bombing from the air. Somebody owned the plane, some white person owned the plane, and they dropped dynamite from the air. And that's the first bombing from the planes in history. And but they named their like their song. Think about it. You dropped the bomb on me.
Oh, wow.
Where all that came from.
Wow.
So you know,
Moment in history.
They were more than just history, man. I mean, they was really involved in a lot of things that was going on in our communities. So a lot of people don't know that part of history of the Gap Band, but I thought that was
because I didn't know that.
I didn't know. That
is
great.
They did something similar to that in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
they did something similar to that too in Philadelphia, man.
Yeah.
So this is continuing to repeat.
Greenwood was
Greenwood. There you go.
Greenwood. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lacey, you good at that,
girl. Hey man, I want to thank all you guys, man. Billy White Shoes Johnson, Esther.
So
Stroy,
sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I couldn't get him
John
in there.
Carlos, we all gonna have you back, man, because you got so much to contribute, man, to what is still going on in this world. We cannot give up. There's no doubt about it, man.
Yes.
And of course, Lacey and Marc, and of course, Sharif. Girl, I tell you something else. And I want to thank my coach Shannon for taking time to put this together. Now we got some idea that is happening on the telephones that we usually need our Jesse Jackson and his legacy before we go out of here. Let's go around the horn. Lacey, why don't we start with you?
What was the question?
Jesse Jackson, tribute to Jesse Jackson.
Jesse has done a lot for our community, even though his personal life is one thing. I can say that he stepped out. He showed that no matter where you start, it's where you finish. And I believe that he had a bad start in life. We would consider it a bad start, but throughout his life, he let us know, our community know that whatever you decide you want, where you want to be, what you want to do, don't let anybody stop you. Mm-hmm. And he gave us a lot of slogans. He gave us a lot of slogans to live by. One of it, what was it? Oh, I heard it the other day. I am somebody. I am somebody. And if you don't think of anything else about Jesse Jackson, you think about this. I am somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tarifa?
Or did we lose her? Oh my.
Marc, going to your tribute.
I think Miss Lacey O'Neal said it best. With him saying "I am somebody," I really feel like because of his bad start, he was really talking to himself. He did a whole lot with keeping hope alive. Not just that saying, but he did keep hope alive. I think he made some contributions that we all don't really know about. In his time, during, I think he had the Push Coalition and all those things. But I listened to his inaugurational speech just the other day, and I thought it was phenomenal. And who to say that he didn't win then, and we just don't know it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But with all the stuff that's going on now, but I think he made some great contributions. He wasn't liked by everybody, but I think he did a great job and did his part. Yeah.
Tarifa?
Yes, I just want to piggyback on what they were saying. And it's ironic that he said the words, "I am somebody," and I took it another step further. And when I go out and speak, I think of that, I am somebody. But what I say is, I am somebody. I will let nothing stand in my way, because the word can't and no isn't in my vocabulary. It's only in the book that you read. And with Reverend Jackson, I think that he left a legacy, and he was one that when he took a fall, he got himself up and dusted himself off and got back out there, and he tried and he tried and he tried. Is everyone gonna like the person? No. Is everyone gonna talk about the person? Yes. But you have to continue to uphold yourself, hold your head up high, and you keep on walking, because can't nobody order your step but God, and God ordered his step until the day he was called home.
Okay. Shannon?
Absolutely. So, from my view, I just want to, acknowledge him for, stepping out there, being beside those people who were fighting for change, being in front of those people's faces that were making the rules and the laws, and making sure that he had a voice in changing those things and having our narratives be present in those groups. Because I know a lot of times now, and even for me growing up, we tend to, try to avoid these people and avoid police and, stay away from them because of just what history has presented us with. But for him to have that voice, to be there, to be in their places, to be in the White House, to be around those people and to speak up for us, takes a lot of courage during the time when they're, hanging, killing, and brutalizing us in the streets nationally. So I really thank him for, stepping up for us and taking that courage and being out there on the front lines for us.
Yeah. As we get out of here, I want to pay tribute to another brother that stood up, man, and never changed his mind on what he thought he was and thought about his people. He was a brilliant young man because I had a year to work with him with the United Planning Organization in 1965 when he came to town with Marion Burr, Stokely Carmichael, Harry Edwards. I'm talking about H. Rap Brown, man. He died in prison, and we never heard a thing about it. I was at this press conference right here, and Petey Green was over on the left. That's me standing up there with that tan coat, but you can't see my face. But Petey Green got Rap Brown a position with myself and him as a troubleshooter for the United Planning Organization. And then Rap stayed a year and went and replaced Marion Burr with Snick. And he had a brilliant mind and could throw that football. He could throw that football. And he died in jail, and very few of us heard anything about it. I think Rap was 82 years old. But he was a leader. He didn't mind stepping out there and putting himself in danger. So I just want to take my hat off to him, man, and say that he was somebody that knew he was somebody. Never let anyone change that thought pattern. Once again, thanks everybody for being a part of
Thank you so much.
The Absolutely. And looking forward for you guys to come back anytime that you want. We're going to be here every Saturday live from 11 to 12. And remember, every black face you see is not your brother, and every white face is not your enemy. I'm Harold Bell. Until next time, you can color me gone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Zone Sports Talk Radio Show in DC. Oh yeah. His brother was bad, G. The show was christened Inside Sports. The tag given to him by his wife had a teeth stolen by the powers to be. His interviews and friendship with Ali and Red Auerbach put his Inside Sports Talk Show on the map. On his radio show, he interviewed some of the most famous athletes, reverend and reviewed the people and the struggle. His wife had a teeth found, the kids in trouble. Incorporated in the Hillcrest Saturday program in 1968. Shortly after the DC riots, this idea was great and still is to this very day. Invited by Nixon to come to the White House, his own people showed the jealousy. So what? Lights out. That great man's name is Harold Bell. He knew Jim Brown and Muhammad Ali up close and personal. When it comes to this brother, there is no comparing. He also knew brother Gil Scott-Heron. If Harold Bell had played the game, he would have been a millionaire. We would have been calling Howard Cosell the White Harold Bell. Mohammed